Well, Aintree is here, ladies and gentlemen, and we are well and truly ready to go. Harry, you had a bit of good news yesterday, off subject, but you're going to the Breeders' Cup, I understand?
Yeah, going to the Breeders' Cup, managed to persuade the missus, so me and Dawn both heading over there. Can't wait.
Good stuff. And Dawn, have you dried out from yesterday at Fairy House?
Just about, Joe. I lost my shoes, I lost my hat, I lost my mind, but we had 3 of the 6. And Harry, I think you had the winner, did you? Did I say that?
Yeah, I don't want to brag, but a nice little bet I have.
Brag away. I'm delighted for you. That's more money for breeders.
Exactly.
Exactly. And Harry, did you see a steering for yesterday?
God, got to be old. Got to say, you got to take Monkfish out of the race or Sheep out of the race, but it's one of those absolute great battle. Lovely to see the grey/white now getting his head back in front. And I say Monkfish, maybe for the King George.
Maybe. Yeah. And Dawn, your bumper winner?
Oh, absolutely amazing. Do you know, we don't go off impressions, but we do. Out of all the impressions on Twitter, Fire Foxy as we call him, Katrina Bolger does him. She actually rode Jevray, if you remember me saying that, and she was delighted with Jevray's second in the Irish National. But then when Foxy, who is the boss's Oscar's little brother as well, he is, even when he had, he had a little bit of a mistake, he fixed himself and he came back again. He was sweet as, and wherever he goes next, follow him. He is one classy horse.
Mm-hmm. Fairy House did definitely whet the appetite. So let's get stuck into Aintree day one. Start off in that Manifesto Novice Chase, 2 mile 4, grade 1. Miller's Bank was last year's winner. Another brilliant race, 5 runners, but I still think it's a very competitive race, Dawn. And the Irish have sent a couple over. Is it going back to Ireland?
You'd hope it's going back to Ireland, Joe. I mean, Banbridge, he skipped Cheltenham. So you'd think this was his main aim, that way. Stage Star worries me because every time I neglect him or say, no, he can't do it. I love the story with Stage Star. I gave you the spiel about Sparky May. The people who were fans of Sparky May when she ran have now bought into Stage Star. I'm buying into the dream. Like, his grandsire was Midnight Legend. Midnight Legend jumped as a colt. I often bring up the question, of like all these colts jumping and minding themselves. And Midnight Legend also is You Wear It Well's dad. So between the two of them, I am very torn. Do I think Banbridge is laid out for this? I do. I want the rain to stay away, though it can't get too sloppy for him. But the way he came back in the Irish Arkle to El Fab, he was never going to get past El Fabiolo, but that Irish Arkle, look what it threw up. Look at Flamebearer the other day. He absolutely annihilated them in the Gold Cup at Fairy House. He was 8th in the Sefton last year behind Gina Bello. I know he's a favourite of yours. Bet Tommy's Oscar. He was a winner of a Martin Pipe. I am very, very split. You're going to push me, aren't you?
We are. We need one selection every race.
Oh, look, I'm going to stick with the Irish. I think he's laid out for it, Banbridge.
Okay. Harry, are you involved in Stage Star?
No, I almost was. I've seen him a couple of times when I've been down Paul Nichols. Absolute beautiful horse. Saw him before he went chasing and he thought the world of him. Said anything he did over hurdles, he did tenfold that over fences. Backed in when he won at Cheltenham prior to the festival. Sadly, me money was on Mighty Potter, God rest his soul, when he last met. But like Dawn said, I do think it is between Banbridge and Stage Star. For me, Stage Star winning the Turners coming to this, hard enough race, although he did pull out. It was a really nice, comfortable winner at the end. Banbridge has been laid out for this. He's going to get his ground, a nice flat track, ran about 7-4. I thought he'd be around about even money favourite in this. You probably get the late money coming for Stage Star with the owner syndicate. But for me, like Dawn said, she's hitting nail on the head. Stage Star has been laid out. Banbridge has been laid out for this team. Heart's just not in the right place. At Banbridge, 7-4, flat track, sound service, 7-4. What more can you want?
It shocks me that none of you have gone for Saint Wow.
Yeah, I know, it's terrible, isn't it?
No, Dawn, not a fan?
No. It's between those two, and that's it.
Yeah, I
That's
actually
it.
think Saint Ra is the best bet in the race. On a line through Alfab, there's nothing much between Banbridge and Saint Ra, a couple of lengths here and there. Saint Ra, if you watch his race at Cheltenham, he dived at the last, but he was closing on John Bon. So I do think going further would definitely bring up more improvement. Over hurdles, he was a miles better horse than both of these. He was £10 clear of this lot. In the Arkle, he was ridden to place. Here, he can be ridden to win. Stage Star and the form of the Turners, Dawn, I've been on about it a while. I just don't like the form of it at all. And I think Saint Ra's third in the Arkle, if he reproduces that performance, I think that would have gone close to winning the Turners. I know it's a big shout, but I just do think he's the one with more improvement up in trip, and I do think he's a high quality animal, and this is definitely winnable for him. So it's Saint Ra for me. I think the money's coming slowly as well, which is always a good thing when McManus horses are involved. So we move on now. The juvenile hurdle, won last year by Night Salute when he had that cracking battle with Pied Piper. 2 mile won. Harry, I think you backed the winner of this last year, Night Salute, I understand, did you?
Yeah, luckily enough, mate. But for this year, I've got to go with Greyville. Round about an 8-1 price, getting a £3 allowance. I've been down Fergal O'Brien's a few times now, and I think the absolute word of her. She came over from France, running some nice listed races. That listed success at Doncaster when she beat the Nicky Henderson type looked very green. Jumping was a bit sloppy, but she loved the ground and loved the flat track. And for me, with a nice testing track like Aintree, getting the £3, although she does have to find the roundabout, I think it's just under £10. Fergal O'Brien, the yard's been flying this season. Paddy absolutely riding out of the skin. And at 8-1 with the allowance on offer here, I think I'm going to get a really nice run. And even if she drifts, I think it's a really big run.
Okay. Obviously, favourite Zenta will be all the rage after third in the Triumph hurdle. Thing about Dawn mentioned earlier, the weather. For Nusret, I do think the rain is a concern for him. I'm going further down. I'm going to take a bit of a punt here on Power Pori for Nicky Henderson and Nico. I fancied her last time out, to be fair. Jumped into contention on the turn for home, but she weakened pretty quickly. At the time, what interests me is Nicky threw her into a Grade 2 on debut. And I think that was quite eye-catching. And it's even more so that he's pitched her up here in a Grade 1 after, 16-length defeat. Decent flat rating, so I understand. Not out of the question that she improves. An absolute bundle from that run last time out. It'd be dangerous to write her off. I think she can get about 40-1, which is crazy, really, considering the yard and the ammo they've got. So, yeah, Zenta will be the rage and hard to beat, I think, but I'm going to take an each way point on Power Fury. Dawn, are you a fan of Zenta?
I like Zenta. I mean, she was the three Willies fillies of triumphant glory that day. Lassie, Gala, and Zenta. What was not to love? She's only 10-9 on her. Look at the way Mark Walsh is riding. Look at that combo. Mark and JP. Beautiful. Am I going to move away from Nusret? He skipped Cheltenham. I had him at a huge price for the Boodles. I was disappointed to see him come out. I had him for the Adonis. Funnily enough, when I was looking today, when he was on the flat and I was at the Curragh that day, the second horse was called Adonis. So, there's a bit of serendipity there. I always like to look for that. Go back to that absolute mess of a race that Cougar messed up at Christmas. You had Lossie Mouth. You had Gala Marcoux. You had Risk Bell, who won at Fairy House the other day. You had Jazzy Matty form with Risk Bell. And then you go back to Blood Destiny and that race. Now, I know Blood Destiny, I don't know whether he's a bit of a monkey. Seen him bet again yesterday, but I think the mare Enjoy the Dream is very good. That bet him. Yeah, you've got Jazzy Matty form there. You've Lossie Mouth. You've Gala Marcoux. You've Risk Bell. It stands up beautifully. If the ground is right for him, he likes this direction. Joseph swapped. He didn't want to go to Cheltenham. He used the right decision. I go back to Punchestown when I came and I said, I have just seen something glorious. The juvenile with the jewels, Daryl Jacob, wax lyrical about him. He is fantastic. And at an each way bet, because of Night Salute, and we do not throw the script out with the writer, I'm going to have a little each way play at him at 15-2. Forget the Adonis. He was sunk with weight. I stand by that. He was bet at the Century at Wolverhampton at 11-1 at Christmas. And his Cheltenham, I cannot forget his novice trial there, his juvenile trial. So I'm going to have script writer each way. I'm greedy. And I'm going to stick with my boy, the juvenile with the jewels, Nusret, with the help of God.
Nusret and script writer for Dawn. Moving on to the Aintree Bowl Chase, Grade 1, 3 mile one, possibly the race of the week on paper for any neutrals. Not so good if you've got two favourite horses in train and run against each other, but hey ho. Harry, I'll let you speak some sense here because I probably won't.
Here's mate. It's one of those. It's a head scratch of a race. Got Brave Man King, Shishkin, a Blue Card, Conflated, a Hoy Senior, and Galore. Cracking horses in their own right. Brave Man King, obviously, in the Gold Cup, very hard race. Shishkin at Cheltenham, very hard race. A Plutard pulled up. Conflated, got him third. A Hoy Senior, we all know what happened there. Sorry. But it's one of those. Which one is going to come out better for that? Brave Man's Game is the class horse in this race on a flat track. Should he be favourite? Yes. But in my opinion, I'm actually going to go with Conflated here. Dawn could probably tell me I'm full of beans and an absolute nutter for it. But it's one of those. Don't think it had the hardest races in the Gold Cup. Comes into this, I would say, more sound, if that's the correct word to use. Just go back to when the Gold Cup, we all know, the Mighty Might Bite, and obviously the opponent that it faced that day. I'm not going to name his name because it's absolutely my favourite horse in Native River. None of those were really the horses of old after they came out of that. You never know what a race like that can take out of it. Shishkin, I know you're his best fan, Joe. Would you be going in backing him after that run?
Maybe not, but I do think the track's going to help him.
Okay. So it's one of those. If you take all those pieces of the puzzle, where does it lie? It's tricky enough. It's not the biggest of bets, in my opinion. But Conflated, third in the Gold Cup, wasn't the hardest of races, in my opinion. And I think that around about 5-1, it can shorten in that, give me some support. If it can lengthen out, I'll take that all day long. But Conflated at 5-1 with all the puzzles and the pieces, I'll take that all day long.
Yeah, I can see that. What do you make of Henry de Bromé saying Plutard was back after his Gold Cup? So I thought it was nonsense. I thought it was terrible.
Yeah, I wouldn't really agree with that. I'm not going to really say much about Henry after the week he had, but yeah, I wouldn't be having that whatsoever.
No. Dawn, where does your heart lie?
Where does my heart lie? My heart
Head.
lies heart, head, and the rest. I'm stuck in a three-way. I flipped it over. I turned it back over and I twisted it round again. Conflated, I totally get where Harry is coming from. And I do wonder about hard races from Cheltenham. We seen at the weekend at Fairy House, they were either on or they were off and not in between. Conflated, he was second in this last year. His Savills run in December blew my socks off. I thought he was fantastic. And he's a Yates. And what I always say about Yates is they grind and they grind and they grind and they come back at you. So if he gets into a bit of a battle, he will come back at them. Shishkin, baby, what can I say? 16 lengths at Ascot. And Nicky said a couple of weeks ago he'd be mortified if he didn't win this race. Look, he had problems last year, and horses with problems, it does come to pass. But I think he needs credit where it's due as well, because he's been third in a Tingle Creek this season. He's been second to Envoy Allen, and we won't begrudge Envoy Allen this. He was second in the Queen Mother, or in the Ryanair, so I can't give out about him when he's had the third in Tingle Creek. Okay, it wasn't that impressive. His 16-length win at Ascot, and then his second in the Ryanair. You cannot grumble at that either. So with Nicky saying I'd be mortified if he didn't win, I'd have every confidence. And Brave Man's Game, he's superb. He's superb. He's got a bit of controversy behind him now, but we like a bit of that as well. Look, he was second in the second to a Hoy Senior. I couldn't reach him. And his King George win, I opposed him. that day. I was stupid. I was silly. And you know how I feel about Mr. Legs 11 Galloping de Champ. So anything that comes second or third to him, I love. I've made a case for 3 of them. Now I'm going to have to put my money where my mouth is. And the romantic in me is still going to stick with, and I made the big speech before, never give up on these horses. They always come back. So it's Shishkin for me. And I've no problem if Conflated does the business. I do see method, not in the madness with Harry. There is definitely a lot of sense there in what he's saying. But it's Shishkin.
Obviously, we'd like to see Garlaw run well for Jamie, but he's probably out his depth in this race, would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, yeah.
I mean, there's 2 negatives here. One was Shishkin's jumping last time out at Cheltenham. I think if he didn't make that mistake at the previous time, he made it a point where he just can't recover. He probably goes and wins that race. Is that fair to say? It was a pretty bad mistake, wasn't it? He did well to get second.
Yeah, but look at the way he came back, Joe.
Exactly.
Like if that didn't, excite you, if he's able to come back like that again with the bag of problems that he has, that's a damn good horse, I don't need to convince you anyway, but like
no, that is the negative me. He's jumping, but I think if you go up to Ascot, his jumping was fine. So I think Aintree, the way Aintree is, the way the fences are set up, I think he's got more time to jump on a flat track. Negative of Braveman's game is Aintree record. Both times he's been well beaten, and that is a big concern for me. As I said, Shishkin, 3 miles flat track won't be an issue. First time over 3. I think Cheltenham took more out of Braveman's game than it did out of Shishkin. Braveman's game was on the front end, pinging away for nearly the whole race, and then he had a big battle up the hill. I'm going to go Shishkin, I think everything just is slightly in his favour. I mean, if it does come down to the last and they're both in line and it comes down to the jumping, obviously it's going to be Braveman's game. But what happens after that, even if Shishkin doesn't jump it well, seems to have got that drive to get back up. So hopefully we have 2 horses jumping the last and the best horse wins. But slight preference is for Shishkin. Right, now that dilemma's out of the way. Move on to the Aintree hurdle now, which is the total opposite. Is there any need to ask anyone for a selection in this race?
No.
Harry?
No, I think it's plain and simple. Constitution Hill. Sit back with a nice cup of tea. Watch another good horse run. And just breathe a sigh of relief and enjoy.
Wins as he like, doesn't he?
Yeah. Like I said, you can mess around playing all the reverse forecast, straight forecast. Is he going to win by this length? Is he going to win by that? You just overcomplicating it. Sit back with a cup of tea and enjoy a good horse run.
Go on. Horsegasm.
Horsegasms galore. Put on something black, white, and tight and just enjoy. Do you know what I mean? He pays my bills, he clears my skin, he flips my mattress, and he cleans my car. He's just, I can't explain it. No one can explain it. And wherever I have to watch him now that we're not getting treated to him on terrestrial TV, which is just perfectly bonkers, and I don't understand. Are we being punished for something? But I cannot wait to experience him again. I cannot wait wherever he goes next season. Good God almighty, what a treat. I will do a little shout because I always do like to talk about another horse in the race. I'm going to go at 12-1 and an each way play with Zanahiyr. And I thought he ran a solid race at Cheltenham this year. Yes, he was miles behind Conhill, but he's been treated to Honeysuckle's backside a couple of times, Sage's backside, and he fell last year. And I thought he was coming for Epatante. I know you're not going to agree with me, Joe, but I think he was coming for him. And Darren, Delta Work, Jazzy Matty, and Zanahiyr are all his, deeply superficial as well. And he's not going to beat Conhill. I don't think anything's ever going to beat Conhill. But if you want a little bit of value, each way play, Zanahiyr all the way. But like Harry said, sit back and just enjoy. It's going to be just a thing of beauty on a Thursday.
Definitely, and possibly the last time we see him over hurdles.
Yeah.
Hopefully, fences away. Anyway, Fox Hunters now on the 5 past 4, 2 mile 5, always a brilliant race. Last year's winner, Late Night Pass, is back in the field, 6-1 if you fancy going in again. Dawn, big field, always a brilliant race of Fox Hunters. I absolutely love them. I've got nothing against them at all. I think they're great for the meeting. And another great race on paper.
Oh, big time. It's gargantuan with the amount of horses. It's stuffed to capacity. Winged Leader, because of Bill Away, now Winged Leader, David Christie has been bringing on a kind of a point-to-point campaign, but he's been winning his point-to-points, and this will set him up beautifully. Barry O'Neill's up. He's the man you want. You're in good hands with him. Always Bill Away's nemesis. Like I said before, Bill Away has got maybe a little bit cute, a little bit, but if we looked at Animix the other day, I thought it gone a bit cute. It was November 2020, his last win. So yeah, the Hunter's Chase of 2022, I remember well, only a neck in it. Winged Leader looks the out and out winner at 4-1, but I did go down a little bit and it's on the line. I really like. He's Monbeg Dude's half brother. Remember, he was third in the Grand National to Many Clouds. He's 10-1 for Emmet. He's been doing a bit of a point-to-point campaign as well. He's been beating Lord Snitzel and he's been placed to the Storyteller a couple of times. So, he won a bumper on Heavy at Cork in April and he won a novice chase at Tipperary last May. So I like him at a bigger price at 10-1. But for me, it's Winged Leader. I really like this horse, and he's a bit of a hard horse for people too, I think.
Yeah. In last year's winner, I mentioned, does rock up. Same prep as last year as well. So always dangerous. But it is the 2022 Cheltenham Fox Hunters runner Winged Leader that interests me most. Season debut was late. It didn't come to January. He's reeled off 2 wins since then in points, routine wins as well. He goes for his form. He goes on absolutely any ground. I can't believe 4-1. I think he's going to be very hard to beat, and 4-1 is a gift, really. So yeah, Winged Leader, I'm with you on that one, Dawn. Harry, can you see anything else in him? I mean, blast from the past there, Magic Saint. How many times have we spoke about him on this podcast?
Exactly, legend of the game, mate. It's one of those races that you look back and you go, "Oh, I can remember when I saw this horse at £1 each on that lad." It's just like if you could write a storybook, you'd be there for absolutely ages writing it about all these. An absolute class race to watch. One at a big price, I kind of like. I know you're going to hate this. It's going to be the Skelton show for the next 2 wangs, but it's not that for you, Coming to his own. There's always a class horse in his day. Struggled to start at Hunter's Chases. Been coming to his own this season. Got given too much to do last time out, and I think he was beaten by IK Brunel. Jack Andrew gets on board. Absolute top class jockey. And for me, 25-1, when they're probably going to be paying around about 5-6 places on the day. If you don't like the favourite, like Dawn said, don't like your lad, it's one of those 25-1 with the 3 selections. You'd hope they'll be all bang there. And like I said, one at a big price, hopefully can fill a spot.
I'm not one to laugh, Harry. I was on brain power at Cheltenham. It's a bit of a loyalty. So,
true love never dies.
Right, that's it. I think brain power would have been better suited for this rather than the Cheltenham one, really. But there you go.
There's a few actually, I think, in there that would have been, but
440 now, handicap chase. This is very similar to the Grand Annual, could you say, at Cheltenham. 2 miles. Last year's winner again. The last day rocks up here. So does the runner-up. Very intriguing race, Dawn. I've got quite a confident fancy in this, so I'll leave the floor to you first.
I'm confident and hopeful and all the rest there. I'm going to go with my old ginger friend, Dad's lad again. 25-1. I mean, what could you not like? Brian Hayes is up. It's 10th in the Grand Annual. Nothing went right for him. Your Dino Blue was 2nd. 3rd time lucky, who's favourite, I think, here. He was 4th. Mascada won. Hampered in mistakes. It was a disaster. His beginner's chase at Limerick, I really, really liked. When he beat Merlin Giant at Galway, you know where I'm going with this. There's Wrexham form, there's a Spurty form, there's Habrusco form, which all leads back to Champ Kiley, which all leads back to the Royal Bond, Marine Nationale, Irish Point, Ashrow Diamond. Have you seen Ashrow Diamond the other day? She was incredible. Just getting that in there. It's also 5th to Magna Glory. who was a good fort to risk bell at Fairyhouse. Won the handicap chase to Evenot Fizz, and Editor de Gite was third that day, and he was ninth in the hurdle to I Like to Move It at Cheltenham as well. I think he will be there or thereabouts. What's not to like at 25-1 if you're getting place money anyway? But I have waxed lyrical all season about him, and I ain't gonna leave him now. I do like Third Time Lucky as well because of his bit of gentleman to me form. Fort in the Grand Annual, bit of Edward Stone form there too. So at a tighter price, Third Time Lucky. But I'm going to stick with Dad's Lad. Bit of ginger, another ginger ninja for me. 25-1. Not huge as yours, but big enough.
Will do. Like I said, last year's winner lines again the last day. So does the runner-up, and it's the runner-up Dancing on My Own who takes my eye massively. I will give a warning. Any rain could be a slight negative. He does need good in the description. All his best form comes on good. I mean, last year when you go through the race, he was superb in the front. He jumped ever so well. He had everything off the bridle coming to the second last. He's £1 lower here, which always helps. Non-runner at Cheltenham because of the ground. 2 poor runs prior to that, but they were just on ground that he just never doesn't enjoy. But you've got to run them somewhere. Definitely, if the ground is good, I'll be confident he'll make the frame and he'll go very close to going one better than last year. A big bold bidding coming from Dancing on My Own. Currently around 9-1, so that's happy days. Harry, you're not going to do it, are you?
Oh, I've got to do it, mate. You've got to do it. The Enigma, as I would call him, Third Time Lucky. It's a crap price, 9-2. I won't want to take it, but my heart's telling me yes. 4th in the Grand Annual. He's one of those horses, novice campaign, led him from the front, absolute burnout, actually learned to settle. His jumping asset here, like I said, in the Grand Annual, sneaked into it by Skelton, hampered, I think, 4 out, and just made no impression up the hill. Back at a flat track, we know he's got form at the track. And like I said, 9-2, a flat track, Sander surface. And I can tell you, it's one of those, if he wins, Skelton's going to get those aeroplane wings out and he's going to be flying them all the way home. 9-2, it's the Enigma, Third Time Lucky. Get on.
I've never heard that before. Harry Skelton to sneak one into a race.
Terrible. He's normally at the front, burning them off. But sometimes he has got to learn. Now he's maturing, he's got to learn. I haven't really got the arm strength now to let him go. I've got him just ease him into the race, caress him. And then when it's time to pounce, he's going to do it, time it right. The aeroplane burners comes on. What more can you want?
No one likes the aeroplane.
I love the aeroplane, and I loved that description too. We were nearly going Mills and Boom there. Lovely. It's usually all on me.
I didn't need to ask Harry, did I really?
No, exactly, mate.
If you know, you know.
We'll move on to the finale now, which is the Mayor's Open Flat Race, Grade 2. Won last year, as you know, done by Ashrow Diamond. The Irish mob-handed here again. I presume you think the prize is going back to Ireland?
Absolutely. And I had a lovely dig here with Believe in Magic and Believe in Dawn. And Davy Russell, we have heard he's going to be riding at Aintree. This is the goodbye, the long goodbye, and let's hope we're seeing a lot of that. Seen Magic Dawn at Punchestown New Year's Eve. I always bang on about Punchestown New Year's Eve. I seen Angels Dawn New Year's Eve. Look what she did in the Kim Muir, and then what she did in the Irish National yesterday. I seen Magic Dawn. She won at 28-1 that day under Aidan Kelly. A very, very good up-and-coming jockey, as we all know. She's full sister to Magic Days. Magic Days is in the Marshes on Friday. She's 10-1. And we know Magic Days has beat Dino Blue before in the Opera Hat. She's also full sister to Magic 7, who's with John Joe. Her grandsire is Gamut, Corbett's Cross, you know, the Albert Bartlett winner this year. And she was 8 to Dr. Bravo. Wait until you hear this bumper now. Nick Rocket was 4th in that race. And Stellar Story, the storyteller's little brother, who's a very good bumper winner as well, who bet Ilantic Ileantic. I know you went from yesterday,
yesterday,
Joe. Second to Firefox. Yeah, so you've got all that. You've got Nick Rocket, you've Stellar Story. She's gone from Michael Hickey to Gordon's. KTDA have her now. If you remember, they owned Mount Ida, who won the Kim Muir in 2021. So there's so much to like about her. She's got pedigree, she's got the form, she's got the jockey. She's 10-1. I really, really like her. And for a very competitive and kind of brain straining mare's bumper, she stands out to me no end. And if you're just going to go for namesake, even, she's lovely. Believe in magic.
Okay. I don't think there will be any magic, but there might be from See You in My Dreams, dream team combo of Harry Cobden and Paul Nicholls. I think she could be absolutely anything. Coasted home from the front on debut. They tried to get after her and they just couldn't, and she just never got out of third gear. This is obviously a lot stronger. You never quite know what the Irish are sending over. However, I'm over the moon with See You in My Dreams. So I think she's a potential superstar. She could potentially actually route these. I'm pretty confident. I can't explain how excited I am to see her in this race before going over hurdles, fences. The sky's the limit. She is a grade 1 horse, I'm sure of it. Harry, have we talked you into it? You going for the magic or See You in My Dreams?
Well, it's one of those. I said to you before we went live, I didn't have a Scooby-Doo about this race. Looking through it, it's like an absolute minefield. I want to go with the lovely Dawn, lovely puppy year celebration with Davy Russell. I was going yes, but then from what you just said then, potential grade 1 horse, See You in Your Dreams. One of those. What more not to love? We know you love a horse down at Ditchit. So sadly, Dawn, I'm going to have to jump ship and go Hugo.
So he turned your head, Harry. After my big speech, he turned your head. There'll be a screen recording coming either way. I know that.
You had me for a second, Dawn, like a lovely little fish on a rod, but I was just a little bit too heavy in the rope snapped. Sadly, Joe, you're with me. I know I ain't the best of luck, but what's more to love?
I'll take you. Don't worry. So I'm just going to press you now for strongest fancy of the day, Harry.
I'm going to go Grave Owl 8-1, I think it was, in the second.
Okay. Dawn, strongest selection? And you can't say Constitution Hill.
Even though I'm in the black and white tight, I can't. Jesus. Winged Leader.
Winged Leader.
Winged Leader.
Mine's going to be Dancing on My Own then. I was going to go with the bumper horse, a bit of bigger price. Dancing on My Own, 9-1. So Harry, Dawn, thanks for tonight, and we will hopefully be back tomorrow with Friday's preview. So all the best Thursday viewers, and we'll see you soon.